Let's see that one more time. Now, if you weren't born yesterday, I'm sure you remember a little while ago when everybody on the left was calling Elon Musk a Nazi for doing something similar to this. Yes, they were literally calling him a Nazi. Let's go back and take a look at what Elon did.
Thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
So what many on the left did is they took that clip out of context when Elon did that and literally said, "My heart goes out to you." It was very clear what he was doing. And they tried to disingenuously gaslight the public into thinking that he was Nazi saluting. Now pay attention, because Mom Donnie did something very similar, just less enthusiastic. Now watch and pay attention. It's very unlikely you'll see Democrats coming out and condemning Mom Donnie and calling him a Nazi for doing that.
Look, I don't really care about whatever groups. It's like I'm tired of the hypocrisy. Okay, I'm tired of the inconsistency. So what he says is true. Okay, they made it a thing when Elon did that salute, but they wouldn't care if a Democrat makes that salute. So you see the inconsistency, and you see the hypocrisy, you see the weakness of their arguments. Where I see a lot of times now they're just being outraged to be outraged. That's it. They find whatever reason for them to be outraged. So that's why the political thing is really tiring. It really is. And why you see how the left is very weak on their arguments, because when someone on their side do exactly what they complain about, they don't say nothing. But if the right or someone they disagree with does what they don't like, they will be outraged about. It's like, so you're not really outraged by, let's say, what they do. You're just outraged by them. So, like I said, all the things that Trump do, I guarantee you, if Biden did it, right, or Obama did it, then it's a moot point. Like the whole deporting illegal immigrants thing, they did it by, Biden and Obama did it much more than Trump. Okay, and Trump, they only care when Trump did it. And people say, oh, because Trump did it. Well, Trump did it a different way. I think the thing is that because they made it an issue, kind of pushed Trump to do it in a maybe different way, i.e. maybe push ICE into certain cities, because they wouldn't allow it. Right? These cities, these blue states wouldn't allow the deportations of illegal immigrants under Trump. So you can see that it pretty much facilitated, A pretty much facilitated B. When if it was Obama or Biden, there would be no pushback. There would be no pushback. So ICE probably wouldn't have to come into these states under Obama and Biden, because there would be no pushback. You see how that might be, the consequences of blue states doing the pushback, and it facilitated, Trump doing all. This is a thing where we don't realize that, a lot of people are just angry for angry's sake. They're outraged for outrage's sake. Okay, it's just because there's a different you're on the different side of the aisle. That's it, I believe. It's not really because of the points itself. Okay, it's not because of the ideology or whatever. So I think it's stupid.
The first will be to revive the mayor's office to protect tenants. We will not compromise on housing quality. The second is to create a LIFT task force. LIFT stands for Land Inventory Fast Track, to leverage city-owned land and accelerate housing development. The last executive order is the creation of the SPEED task force. SPEED standing for Streamlining Procedures to Expedite Equitable Development. This task force will identify and remove bureaucratic and permitting barriers that drive up costs and slow housing construction and lease up.
The only good part he probably said was the permitting thing, right? Because there is, in blue states, they have a permitting issue, okay? A whole bunch of red tape issue, the bureaucracies of making or constructing a home. The other stuff he said is like, okay, first of all, caring about tenants and affordability. There's a housing shortage, okay? And the houses that are there, owners don't want to sell it, nor do they want to rent it out, because it's not feasible. Doesn't make sense cost-wise. So really, you care about the tenant when you don't care about the owners, shows you that you're not going to get the problem finished. Now, maybe the last part could help new owners, but it doesn't sound like nothing he's helping with existing owners. Now, the second part he said, for cities to create housing, honestly, there are city-owned or city-created grocery stores that are that's not profitable. So they go bankrupt or they close. I'm sorry. In a nation where you need profitability to sustain, then it doesn't make sense. Because one, if it's not a profitable venture, constantly losing money, even if it's government backed, the government can only do so much, right? The government's money is not endless. Government's money is people's money. So to create this endless money of non-existent profitability, government has to continue taking money from the people to sustain something that is money losing, right? That loses money. So really, it's like, okay, you want people to afford groceries, but you are taxing them more or taking more from them. It's like if you're not taking, hurting them on one end, you're hurting them on the other end. So really, it's not really solving the problem. I mean, and again, I'm telling you this right. I'm not like a smart economist or anything. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from an average person's point of view, that don't sound that great. That don't sound like you're solving the problem. Not like I said, maybe the last part where he said, trying to get rid of the bureaucracies of creating new homes. Yeah, I think that would probably help solve some problems. But you're not helping existing problems and the red tape of creating homes. If the government's gonna create homes and they're gonna, I don't know, give free rent or free homes or low cost homes, it's like you're losing money. And to make up for the loss of money, you're just going to take more money from the people. I don't know. This is the thing. I don't, this whole thing with like blue, red states, I don't know. I care for the prosperity of Americans. So if, if New York succeed, great. If a red state succeed, awesome. But sometimes I just feel like these people are not succeeding. They're just hurting the people, because this is the thing. Right? We want to say New York is, as a blue state, one of the most highest GDP. California, a blue state that has the highest GDP. Yeah, they have the highest because not because of necessarily their policies, it's because of there's so many rich people live there. Which these are the states that hate rich people, right? These are the states that hate rich people. But to have such a great name for themselves, they have a lot of rich people. So I don't know. It's counterintuitive, but whatever. I just hope that things turn out good for Americans. That's it.
So IO Interactive says that an old school Bond would be tone deaf today as First Light moves the character forward towards more modern values. I could not express how happy I am this happened. Because I just thought this game was going to be boring and mediocre. Now I know I'm going to be able to farm hate on this game for a month. This is going to be amazing. I'm so happy about this.
That point I definitely agree with. Right? I definitely agree with it that, you know what, fine, just let them do what they want to do. If the audience speaks with their wallet, the audience speaks with their wallet. If this thing makes money, there's nothing to say. I said, let companies, corporations do what they think is best, okay? Let Disney makes their, woke or crazy ass shit, fine. If it makes money, you were right to do it. If it doesn't, well, it shows you that you don't know your audience, okay? So do what you want to do. But what I do want to say is that a lot of these times, they don't know their audience, right? Because, you have Disney things, making things for, who's it geared towards, right? Having female leads, having, I don't know, alphabet people, characters, having stories that, honestly, and games like this, because this is the thing, right? It doesn't feel natural. That's the problem. I don't mind, women in games. I don't. But it doesn't feel natural. It feels like a checkbox, right? It feels like a checkbox where, okay, I don't care what game it is, it has to have a woman. I don't care what game it is, it has to have someone from the alphabet community. I don't care what it is, it has to have someone, a minority. I don't care, you make the story around that. And that's the problem I find with movies, games, all kind of male-oriented entertainment. It has to be a checkbox. Make your story surround around these kind of checkboxes. And this is the problem, right? This is the problem more people see, that you don't care about the story, right? It's not like let's say an Alien, where it's not really it's not about the female lead, right? It's about the alien. It's just about the character lead, so it feels more natural. Okay, Terminator, Sarah Connor, it didn't feel like it was around her. She was just a part of the movie, so it felt natural. Nowadays, all these movies doesn't feel natural. It feels like you're pushing an agenda. That's the problem. And then, who are you pushing it for? Women, LGBT community, minorities. They're not the predominant buyers or consumers of, let's say, games. Let's say, comic books. Let's say, action movies. Let's say, I don't know, geeky things. They're not the predominant consumers of this. Okay, they are the consumers. They're not the predominant, and that's why I have the problem with this. Where, okay, you are pretty much deterring the main consumers, focusing on the minority of the consumers, right? And then it's not really, and then you complain that, we can't, we have to fire people because people don't like, women or minorities or whatever. No, because if you gear towards one small group and they didn't even show up, the small group didn't even show up, you have no right to complain about the group you didn't gear towards.
Does this mean it's dangerous?
This is my thing, okay? I don't care what racial group this is about, okay? I look at it as we're all Americans. We should want all Americans to succeed, or the majority of Americans to succeed. We shouldn't. This looks bad on America, period, right? It doesn't just look bad on minorities or the black community. the world sees this, and they'll also think badly of Americans, not just badly of, let's say, black people. We should want almost, if not all, groups in America to do well, to succeed, because we're all Americans, okay? We should have a more unified mentality. We should be promoting, like, shaming our criminals, shaming bad behavior, shaming disgusting behavior, shaming behaviors that would be negative to our community as Americans, okay? This division, this hate for each other, is not helping. It's not improving. Like what has it been improving? Okay, making us distinguishing each other. Right? That's a black people problem. That's not that's not my problem. But it's an American problem, right? It's an American problem because they live in America. It's like I would never. I can't. I didn't think I live in the day where a McDonald's is no different than a Chinese shop or a liquor store or I don't know, like a bank, right? Where they're fighting. It's like, seriously. We should want to support the black community in the way that, they see that this is not the right way. We're all Americans. We want better for everyone. Hey, in my opinion, okay, as an American, yes, you can distinguish each other between Asian group, white group, black group. I get it. But still, they're viewed as Americans. So, in my opinion, when they are failing, while in America, America's failing. Okay? Plain and simple, because this is the thing where it's not in a vacuum, right? It's not in like a isolated area, okay? Because things that happen in the black community is affecting America as a whole, right? I don't know. I wish that we could unify, and I wish we could unify and want to unify, right? We want to, black community wants to join with white community wants to join with black community, and we could help out each other. We could care for each other. We could learn from each other. We're so divided. So when one group is struggling, we don't care. We don't truly care, okay? We don't truly care. We want to call out racism, but what is that doing? Racism, right, in my opinion, isn't causing that. It's the division, right? It's that we see each other as abusers and victims, right? As the predator, as the perpetrator, and as the victim. Instead of let's help out each other, be better. That is just tiring. It really is. Maybe I'm being optimistic and foolish in my ideology because I always believe America first, and as Americans, we should care about fellow Americans.
As a Muslim student, my non-Muslim friends ask why the Prophet married a minor, yet it is wrong.
Why the Prophet married a minor?
Yes.
Why not? If you had the chance. So doesn't the good overwhelm this, even if it was bad? No, it's not bad. Do you know that before the Prophet ﷺ proposed to Aisha, she was already engaged? She was 6 years old and she was engaged. Has Aisha ever complained that she wasn't happy, that she was subjugated, that she was oppressed? Of course not. She loved the Prophet more than anyone else on earth, and he loved her more than anyone else on earth. Were her parents opposing the marriage? Of course not. Who, in his right mind, would find someone as trustworthy, as great as the Prophet and would reject him? Wallahi, if I had a 6-month-old daughter, I would give it to him. And by the way, I have 13 daughters with the grace of Allah. So I know what a father feels about his daughters.
This is why I can't be religious. I can't, because it can create zealots. Okay, it can create people who are delusional, not logical. Because this is the thing where you have to be delusional, right? Not all cases, right? Not all cases, not all religious people. Okay, but it's a lot. It's a lot. You have to be delusional to believe certain things when it comes to religion, and in this case, Islamic religion, right? Because this is the thing where what I'm saying is that instead of being logical, where it don't make sense to marry off your 6-year-old or your 6-month-old, okay, to just some random or just any man you choose, okay? It doesn't. But because you believe in this religion so badly, right? You believe in something so badly, you have to make it make sense, right? You have to. You have to find the logic in it, okay? Any type of way. Because you believe in it too much. Because if you see the delusion or the hypocrisy or the red flags in something, well, it makes you question said religion. And it may weaken your faith. So because these people are zealots, right? These people are insanely religious. They can't be critical of their religion. They can't. I've yet to see a single Muslim, at least on social media, right, has ever been critical, right, of their religion. I've yet to see it. Say that, you know what? that doesn't make sense. That's not right. But you know what? You don't have to believe in everything, because at least a lot of Christians will say that you don't have to believe in every single thing. Okay, not everything is right or makes sense today. Where they don't make excuses. At least not. I'm not saying. I'm saying there's a good amount of them that don't make excuses for every single thing in text, scripture that's essentially made by men. And this is why I can't follow religion, because it's you have to be delusional, you have to be a hypocrite, you have to be insane to make what you hear, what you read sounds right. Okay, because if it's not correct, that will fall onto you that, you know what, your religion isn't perfect. It's very flawed, right? And God forbid any one of them want to show that their religion is flawed. Things like this is disgusting. I'm gonna get hate for this. But whatever. You care that your hand gets dirty, but you don't care if your neighborhood gets dirty. This is the thing where I find it funny that you complain about gentrification. You complain about white people in your business. You complain about so much, but you don't even police your own house. You don't even police your own neighborhood. You don't even keep your own neighborhood in check. This is the thing where I just find it funny that you complain that white people come in, change up your neighborhood, make it beautiful, right? Make it beautiful, make it habitable, increase the property prices. You wonder why the difference, right? It's the difference. They care about their neighborhood, right? If white people see other white people just littering, just throwing shit around, they would shame people like that. Okay? If Asian people see other Asian people throw trash, be trash like that, be disgusting people, they would shame, right, other Asian people for that. Black people, you do what you want to do. You do what you do, right? No shame whatsoever. And also, right, even if you do get shamed, they don't care. The people because they're not scared of nobody. They don't care even for their own people, right? They don't even care about their own people. I just did this video, which I'm probably gonna do another video on. Okay? Of a black man complaining that, a white man or a white police officer killing or what was it? A white police officer killed a black man, but he had a warrant out for his arrest. He was armed and dangerous, and he killed his daughter, right? The black offender killed his daughter. He wouldn't comply. Shots ensue. Terrible, right? It is terrible. But on the comment section, a black man said, you're always quick to kill black man. It's like, the guy was a criminal and he wouldn't comply, but fine. Then another comment said, okay, what about black on black crime? And he said, I don't care if a black man kills another black man. It's like, I get it, right? It's understandable to care if white cops or cops unjustified, or quick to kill or imprison black people. 100%. I'm on that. But to have the audacity, the insanity to say, I don't care, right? I don't care about black people killing black people. It's like, so you're just outraged. You're just outraged because of the race. You don't care about the actual crime, the act, or whatever, okay? The context, anything. You don't care about anything. You just care about it's white against black. That's it. So just like people complain about gentrification, people complain about redlining, people complain all this shit. But when you talk about, cleaning your neighborhood, upkeeping your neighborhood, maintaining your neighborhood, policing your own neighborhood, your own people. Oh no, God forbid, I don't give a shit about that. I don't care about, shaming people for littering in your own neighborhood, shaming people for bringing crime and destruction, all that shit in my own neighborhood. No, I don't care about that. I care about when white people come in. When white people come in and change the neighborhood, make it more safe, make it whatever. That's what I care about. So you don't care. It's like, that's why it infuriates me, because you don't care about solutions. You don't care about anything bettering. No, you just care about the white versus black narrative, right? That's all you care about. You only care about the racism. You don't care about anything else. Shit is tiring. It really is.